Hey guys, welcome to Bugs and Brews. My name is Jake, and today we're going to be going over the blue poison tongue, also known as the deep blue poison tongue. This is a Charlie Craven fly. He's down there in Arvada at Charlie's Fly Box, so definitely give him a shout. He's got a fantastic shop down there. But getting onto the fly, I would consider this one an attractor midge. I have yet to see anything in nature that looks quite like it, but the fish sure do like it, so I'm not going to ever complain about that. This is a great dropper fly. It could also be fished pretty deep. I would say a majority of the people who I know fish it, they're drowning it under some sort of dry fly, whether it's a chubby, whether it's an ant. And it does really, really well on a lot of our freestones and tailwaters alike out here. I would say the size 16 through 22 is kind of your mainstay, so keep that in mind. Obviously, you could get away with a 14 or even something smaller than a 22, but that 16 through 22 range is generally what you'll see stocked. And yeah, I think that's a little bit about the fly, and let's get into it. So now getting on with the fly, what I've got here in the jaw is a Daiichi 1150 in a size 16. Great hook. And to top it off, I've got a tungsten bead in silver and a 2.3 mil. That seems to get the job done for us here, so that's what we're going with. And in the bobbin today, I've got UTC 70 in a blue dun. It's kind of like an off gray. Really like that. And we're gonna get started here with starting some thread behind our bead. I like to give this a couple good wraps of thread. Kind of hold your bead in place. Don't have to get too crazy about it. And then we're going to trim out our tag end. And then here I'm going to lay my thread flat. So I'm actually going to spin that counterclockwise. Take 2 or 3 wraps back. And I'm going to attach this blue wire to the hook shank here on my side of the hook. One little trick that you've got going for you, especially if you're tying beadhead nymphs, is there's generally a crevice there behind that bead where you can jam that wire into. Kind of helps you align it and whatnot. So I'll actually do that here. Beautiful. And I'm just going to trace this wire down the shank of the hook on my side of the hook. So I'm actually not really creating too much bulk. And once it's right down there around the bend, flatten my thread again and roll her on up towards the bead. And then once I get behind that bead, it's essentially just a glorified zebra midge, but I like to make my flies look as real and nice as possible, so I'm going to work on a little bit of a taper here. I'm going to kind of go down 3/4 of the shank, back up, flatten once again, and then go down maybe about halfway or so, back up, etc. And I'm pretty happy with that look. So now I'm going to take our blue wire, which is a ultra wire in a blue, and I am going to crank that up with nice open wraps, starting tighter down towards the base of the fly and getting just a tad wider with each palmer of that wire. And then once I'm right behind the bead, I'm going to lock that wire in place. And then I'm just going to helicopter it out, which basically just fatigues it. And there she is. And lastly, to finish this fly, a little bit of a ice dub in UV gray. We really enjoy this dub. It tends to grab the thread pretty well, especially if you use it sparingly. And I'm actually going to probably grab less than I need because it's almost easier to then apply to the thread, and then say you're a little bit short or don't have quite enough, you can always add more. I'm going to try to create a nice bulbous thorax here. Nothing too crazy. And it looks like I need to just take a little bit more, a couple wisps of that UV. Cord it on the thread. And once you're happy with that, trusty old whip finish. I'm going to do a 4-turn. Really cinch that thread down. Trim time. And that pretty much completes the blue poison tongue. Another thing you could do is kind of tease those dubbing fibers out if you'd like, but after a couple fish, it generally starts to disperse a little bit. So there you have it. Hope you enjoy it, and let us know if you like it.